So back at the beginning of 2017, Highway 1 in California, a section of it was closed near Big Sur after a mudslide basically destroyed a complete part of it. Highway 1 is basically like this very scenic coastal highway along the Pacific Ocean in California, and it's been closed for the better part of a year now. I think maybe longer. I don't know how. It's like a year, maybe a little bit over a year, something like that. It's been closed for a while, and to go along with that, American Truck Sim subsequently closed their version of it in game as well, not too long after it happened in real life. Well, since news came out recently that they are getting ready to reopen that section of Highway 1 again in real life, American Truck Sim decided to hold an event in-game called Operation Big Sur that would be a collaborative community effort to try and remove, I believe it's 500,000 total kind of like events, taking trucks to and from the site to help with cleaning it up. And for each person who completes 15 truckloads there or back, you basically get like an in-game in-dash plushie to put on your dash, which I think is pretty cool, and I want it. So I want to help out with the restoration effort, do my share, do my 15, maybe even do more. But I thought we would just kind of do a fun run here for the first American Truck Sim video, because this is another game that I really do like, and I want to feature. You know, it's not racing, but I think it kind of goes along with that culture of like simulation, which is really, despite the name of the channel, it's more based around simulation a lot of the time than it is necessarily about exclusively racing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I already selected a load. We're going to be taking it from the site itself to Camp Verde in Arizona. It is like a 13-hour in-game drive, so I think it'll just be a fun drive. And I'm already at the site and everything like that. So all we need to do is actually pick the load up itself. I just need to find out where it is in... Oh, it's right there. How convenient. Okay, so I'm using a bunch of mods, as you probably can tell that anybody playing American Truck Sim still is probably using a bunch of mods. Also using my wheel and pedals. I feel like this game, I played a bunch of it. I probably have like 40 hours in the game, if I'm being honest, at this point. Just on this save is quite a bit as well. I have 93 hours. Wow, okay. So I probably have like 40 hours on this save. I play this save online a lot, so I have to disable the mods and all that kind of stuff. You know, not a huge deal, but a big enough deal nonetheless to have to go and delete stuff. I actually had to buy a new truck recently because I was messing around with mods and I broke something to where it would no longer let me have audio, and it saved on my profile, and it just became a huge mess. So we're not stuck in anything here. I'm just kind of taking it a little slow. We're driving. This road is very bumpy. You might be able to hear my wheel every once in a while. That definitely is going to be happening. The vibrations are a lot on these bumpy roads. Thankfully, not really a lot of bumpy roads between here and Arizona outside of this section. I think we're going to mainly be kind of on the highways. I have my GPS set for the fastest route, though. So if there is side roads or anything like that that would make it easier for us, we're going to be definitely meeting up with those. So I'm not even going to stop there because there's no through traffic. In terms of doing the speed limit and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if I really care all that much. I think the game never really lended itself to worrying about the speed limits, especially because a lot of the time the speed limits are lower. It's weird because the speed limits on the side of the road would say something like, oh, it's 70 here. And even back there it just said 55, but yet it says 35 on the actual GPS itself. So I've never quite understood when you're supposed to be using, or why it's not matched up to what is on the side of the road. Like if it was 70 through everywhere, I think in this section of road, like 65, 70 is fine, but it's like, oh, you gotta go 35. And I think it's 35 here just because of there being the construction up there. So they wanted to limit it to make it seem like it's a real construction zone or something like that. Plus, you know, all the random encounter. I think there's an encounter or two, at least when I was driving through here to pick up the load. There was an encounter as well. So I just want to get out of this way. But at least we're going this way. The other way into here, on the other side of the actual slide, where we could have just went out instead of turning back and coming out this way, is a mess. Like, that part of the road, you got to go like 30 the whole way, because how, like, see, it says 50. Oh, no, now it, okay. See, that disproved me right there. I guess I have my truck limited right now, which I guess is fine. 10 over isn't a huge deal. I think I limited it to probably 10 over the speed limit, so it's gonna be a decently length trip here. But I thought it would be kind of like a cool, just sort of touch base style thing as well. Just kind of like talking about the channel and everything and what I'm thinking and stuff like that. So it kind of becomes almost like an update style video in the form of an American Truck Sim video, which is kind of cool. But before I get into that, some of the mods that I'm running I just included today is there's actually kind of like a realistic graphics mod that I'm kind of running. I don't really like downloading stuff not from the workshop because it's just too much of a hassle, and it can, like, you don't know if something works right or if it's broken, and stuff that's usually pretty high up on the workshop. People, you know, they're not gonna really download it and use it if it's not great. So I don't necessarily worry about that all too much. So I have a graphics mod installed, which I can't tell if it helps or not. You'll have to tell for yourself. I think it helps with the lighting though, but I also think I installed a lighting mod separately. I think maybe, or a filmic light, something like that. So I think the lighting just looks a lot better, especially like the headlights. I've always noticed in the base game the headlights are kind of, you basically had to run high beams at all time to be able to see anything. So now it's a little bit better in that regard. Just gotta make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah, I think American Truck Sim is definitely aided by its, and we're not online, by the way, so like the fact that there's no vehicles here is just because this section of road isn't open, so, you know, cars aren't going to be really coming down here or anything. We're hitting that cap, so the engine's just stalling out. Well, not stalling out, but not getting any acceleration. Just cruising along here. But yeah, hopefully you've been enjoying the stuff that's been on the channel so far, like the Crew 2 stuff, which one of those videos kind of went a little bit, got some views, which I expected it to do. You know, this isn't my first rodeo, as they say in the world of making content. It's just a secondary channel specifically for like racing stuff and stuff like that, because my other channel focuses more on like shooters and RPGs, more stuff like that than racing stuff, and I didn't want to necessarily intrude. Okay, okay, that's a curve, I guess. It's a funky, very funky the way they do that. But that channel focuses more on that type of stuff, so I very much know how to title videos to get them views if it's like something that people want to know, like how to unlock a vehicle in the Crew 2 or something. The other videos didn't do necessarily as well, but I didn't think they were going to do all that great. I think it was just kind of like me wanting to do some car related stuff for the Crew 2, because I think one of the best aspects of that game is actually like all of the car stuff that's in that game, or no, the car stuff. Yeah, it's all cars. I guess there's boats now too, but nobody uses the boat stuff. But the cars are really cool in that game. I like that they're modeled extremely well. Obviously, a lot of people have an issue and debate how, like, I guess realistic it is, you know, but it's never trying to be that way. People try too hard to interpret what a game is trying to be sometimes, I feel like. You know, and I never went and played the Crew 2 and was like, oh, this isn't realistic. It's like, well, yeah, it's not going to be realistic. It lives in the world of, like, the arcadey games, and arcadey games are good. Sometimes I want to play an arcadey game. You know, I have I recently purchased a year of iRacing, a subscription, because it was like $30, and normally it's like 150 or something. So even though I don't really want to spend the money on buying like cars and stuff in game right now, I can do that at a later point in the year, and then come next year when my subscription's up, it's going to hit around the same time as the Steam sale again. So then I have the luxury of being able to get it at 60, I think it was 67% off for a year. So I can do that exact same thing again. So it'd be super easy and super convenient. Or maybe they don't. It's weird how they do it. And I found kind of a loophole in it a little bit. I'm not going to share that loophole because I don't want it to disappear on me. But there very much is a way that they limit you to being able to purchase it through Steam. Like, you can only purchase the game once, and then I think you can't buy a subscription if it's already in your library, or maybe it was because I activated it from iRacing's website itself. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure that's what it was. I activated it from the website, so I didn't have a subscription, but it was already in my library, so Steam didn't know what to do. But I removed the game from my library on Steam and then bought it on Steam, and I was able to do it. So yeah, I guess, yeah, because it said it was going to renew. So yeah, who knows, man? I have no idea. But yeah, I want to get into iRacing. I want to do some races. I've been doing a little bit of I've been practicing some of the Mazda, like, rookie stuff. You know, I already had an iRacing account. I've done like 1 or 2 races, but nothing I've ever really tried too much at. And I'm just trying to really get out of rookie. A little bit further up into the ranks, into the rungs, do something else. Maybe try to focus, pick what I like, test out some different stuff, pick what I like to race. The LMP1 stuff is cool, but I think that's almost too competitive. I don't know. I like the high downforce stuff. The high downforce stuff is very fun to me. I think because it kind of, in a way, requires less precision, and I know there would be arguments from people who actually like race those cars that it's quite the opposite. But I don't know, I think like having a car that goes fast but also is stuck to the ground basically definitely aids in your ability to just, you know, stick to the ground and not have to worry necessarily as much. You have the ability to kind of just hang out, and as long as you're hitting your marks and you know where you have to put in a little bit of brake, or if you're going through something like at Le Mans where I did in that 919 where I practiced for a bit. It didn't take very long to get like decent. You know, I'm off the pace in that video, but even after that I played a little bit more and I was significantly better. And I think that's one of the best things about sim racing is there's no other game where you can really tell like how good you're getting as quickly. Okay, I didn't see the light there. I thought it was just I don't know, but you really can't tell in any other game really as quickly as like iRacing and Project Cars 2 and stuff like that for how good you're getting like super quickly. So we're just kind of hanging out at this light here. I obey the traffic laws in terms of like lights, and sometimes the double yellows really just depends on, you know, if there's a very slow vehicle in front of me, because sometimes the game does have those ultra slow vehicles that, that's a mess. I was just checking my phone there. Got friends asking me about the F1 race because he missed it. The F1 race was fantastic. Not if you're a Lewis. Well, I guess if you're a Hamilton fan, it came out pretty decent at the end with him getting a second place. I'm not a Hamilton fan, so Kimi wrecking him into that. Well, I guess he didn't wreck him. He spun him into that first corner because Kimi's in this ultra aggressive race mode right now because the rumors going around is he lost his seat to Leclerc, and he's probably just trying to like prove that he still has what it takes, type of thing. Maybe. I know, I'm just speculating, but Vettel is a GOAT. I love Vettel. I also like Verstappen. Those are my 2 favorite drivers, Ferrari and Red Bull. Love it. And then obviously gotta rep Haas as well, because the American team, no American drivers, but, you know, that could change in not like an extremely long amount of time. Okay, I'm gonna move here, Camaro. That could change in not an ultra crazy amount of time, just because of, I mean, they have Ferrucci in F2, but I don't think he's ever gonna really be an F1 driver. I think what's more likely to happen is because the U.S. is finally getting their own like Formula 3 championship. Formula 3 or Formula 3 championship. We already have a Formula 4. So they're getting their own. We're getting our own Formula 4 and 3 to go along with our 4, so people don't have to go over to like the British 4, and where it's very ultra competitive among just Europeans themselves. It doesn't really give a lot of room for Americans to enter the fray. Having our own allows it to be easy, like way easier to progress to into Formula 2 and have an opportunity to go into other forms. Like even IndyCar will probably benefit from having a strong American open wheel series right below the 2 highest rungs. And with the way that the FIA is kind of reworking, or is supposedly said they're probably going to rework it to where you basically have to go through Formula 2 to race in Formula 1 now. Having Formula 3 championships are probably pretty important. Or racing in IndyCar. IndyCar championships are worth a lot of super license points. I believe Newgarden already qualifies just by winning the 1 championship. And even NASCAR actually has the has some super points. Like Kyle Busch could race. Jimmy Johnson, I don't think has the points anymore, but even he could, like, obviously during that 7 championship run, the super points, like he was good because it was crazy. But I don't think the way they reworked the system, I don't think it was like that before. But you know, I don't think he really had any want or notion to, like Tony Stewart or Jeff Gordon. You know, Jeff Gordon actually, I believe he tested for Williams before he started his NASCAR career, or before he went to Cup, or in his first couple of years of Cup. It was something like that, which was pretty interesting. So there's crossover there. Tony Stewart is a IndyCar champion. He's actually a kart champion, but you know, that's what IndyCar turned into, or it was split and then it came together with kart and whatever the other championship was. Racing's fun. I like all forms of racing. NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula 1, open wheel, 2-seater, GTE. But yeah, anyways, back to the iRacing thing, because that's where I kind of get distracted with iRacing. I think I kind of want to focus probably more on like the GTE, GT3 stuff, because those are, I guess there's more that real life association with those cars. When you like look at the real world cars, being able to drive a Ford GT as a race car, but then also see it kind of on the road, sparingly on the road. You know, there's like 800 or 1,000 of them in total allocations. I think they've made 400 of them, something like that. So, you know, there's not tons of them, but they're still cool. Something more common, obviously, is like a Porsche 911, or the BMW M8. You know, going off of just WEC stuff here. You know, there's other ones as well. But I really like, obviously the Corvette as well. Audi R8. Things like that, you know, it's all really cool. It's one of the reasons that I really like DTM is because of Audi. The R8, I love Audi. The TT, the RS3, the R8, both new and old R8s, love them both. DTM is going through this weird thing where Mercedes is leaving. I've always wondered why Porsche doesn't compete in that series, because it really is like a super German series. Like even DTM stands for something unbelievably German, which I cannot pronounce to save my life. So we're just kind of driving through the night here, which leads to less traffic on the road, which is kind of cool. Just because I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to pay attention nearly as much, and having this kind of like just straight shot out to Arizona and not having to worry about like tons of traffic or like talking and missing a turn. It's very convenient for me. I don't have to really do all that much. There's not like tight turns. There was another run that was going to take me from the mudslide to somewhere in upper Nevada, and I was like, do I want to do that one? And there are fast stretches of road there. They go, it's like 80, but no, I'm not about that. Okay, we're gonna go down to one lane here. But yeah, iRacing is something that I want to give a try. I gotta get out a rookie first, and I'll probably do some stuff with like technically my first race of like actually trying and being like, the last time I tried iRacing was probably in May. Probably actually April. April was the first time I tried it, and I mean I had Project Cars 2 and I played a little bit, but understanding racing to a greater degree and actually trying to do it, not just being able to analyze it at, like from Formula One or just open wheel and GT and sports car stuff like that. Like I could analyze it and I understood what they're doing, but actually doing it is a whole other thing. Like late apexes and when you should brake and doing all that kind of stuff is shifting. I don't use a shifter in ATS just because I just have the Logitech one, and with these being 18 gears, you have to switch between you have to toggle them and stuff, and it really just becomes hectic, and I didn't really find much joy in it. I don't know, I think we might be in Arizona now, but I can't be too certain. Nope, we are not. We are near Barstow. And it appears like we're staying in... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so LA's there. We still have 7 hours. So it's definitely a long run. All the runs for this are pretty decently length. There's some that go crazy, like the 22-hour ones out to New Mexico and stuff, which is a little crazy. Not necessarily for me right now, not for this at least. Maybe like watching like Netflix, like how I normally play American Truck Sim, is the appropriate way to do it. Hey, we're gonna be going right through Barstow. I never really got... I mean, I played a lot of European Truck Sim too, but I like American Truck Sim for the simple sake of it being more like associated with cities I know and roads I know and that kind of stuff. And they actually just were talking about some of the stuff from the new expansion they're going to be doing for Oregon, which is really cool. Oh, it did one of these things where it made me get on the highway just to get off the highway. I didn't pay attention to that. I hate when it does that. So let's merge our way back onto the highway. What a waste of time that was. Time to get back up to speed. I don't know why it does that. I really can't for the life of me figure out why it does that ever. Normally I catch it, but I'm not ultra paying attention. I'm just trusting the GPS to be like, hey, go here. Also, the GPS is different as well. The GPS is a fairly popular mod in the Steam Workshop called, I think it's Google Navigation or something. It's just Google Maps navigation. Oh, still gotta get over more. Turn from 4 lanes to 2 lanes there. I assume most of the trip we're doing here is through California, and it's a very little bit into Arizona, but Flagstaff is this way. So we're 6 hours away. Not terribly long. And we're a little over halfway. Because the entire trip I think was 13. Man, if I wanted to, I could turn off the limiter and just fly down this empty stretch of road and really... You know what? I'm going to do that. We're going to do that real quick. Because I had to go back to a previous save. And I have traffic offenses turned off. I went to a previous save here and... Can't turn that on or off. What is that about? You know what? I don't even know. we'll just leave it. I don't have the ability to turn it off. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because I'm already going. Maybe because I'm hitting the limiter. It's being weird about it. I'll have to figure that out later. See, it's 70 on the road there, but it says 55 here, which is confusing to me. If those are just like random signs that they randomly just placed along the road, or what? Because you know, should be able to go quicker on a road that says you can go quicker on it. Doesn't really make much sense otherwise. There's another one, 70. So we're getting into the morning. I should probably keep the headlights on still. Sun's coming up. I like that there's kind of like those, I don't know if those sort of sun rays from the sun, obviously from the lighting effects, exist in this non-graphic mod that I installed. I think it's very easy to just not pay attention to something and then assume the thing you added it. Okay, no need to beep in my ear. Glad we did not have to stop. When I tried playing manual in this, actually doing the downshifts to have to get in there when you're going like 65 and having to go like down through all of them was the most annoying part. So I'm glad we get to bypass that. Bad memories, but having that sun come up over the cliffs there, or over the cliffs, over the hills right there is pretty cool. Big fan of that. I think the graphics mod actually added a new sun and a new moon to the game, if I recall correctly on what it added. The sun does seem like a better sun, but it could be the same sun as well, and I could just be making things up. Yeah, I don't need the headlights anymore with the sun providing all that light naturally in the Arizona desert. We are hitting the rev limiter real hard and messing up our momentum. Like, going over is great, and it's like when you lose that momentum though, it definitely slows the car down, or the truck down more than like basically the momentum of having your foot on the gas is better for momentum even if you're at that cap than not having it. Cruising pretty quick down the hill here though. Get 3.8 miles per gallon. It's kind of crazy. I have a lot of this account, or this profile, whatever you want to refer to it as, has I think 5. I think I maxed out on fuel efficiency. And I even have, at least I think, I mean, I reverted, so it probably isn't anymore if you saw it in the options and I wasn't paying attention. I thought I had real fuel mode on too, or like real fuel usage, whatever the actual thing is called, to make it use more fuel. But I could be wrong. Not quite sure there, but we can do this entire trip without needing fuel, so I might be wrong. Especially because we're getting like 3.8. Don't worry about it right there. It says instant. That's because we are sending no power to the engine because we're just cranked up over here at 66. Just cruising along the highway. And then sleeping, as you can tell. I might want to... The sleeping might come back to bite me. I'm gonna just pull in here and just do the sleep real quick. It won't turn it back to night, which is nice. It'll just... do I actually have to pull into one of those spots, or can I just... Yeah, I didn't think I did. Okay, let's just... Oh no, did I went too far. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure why that beep is so much louder. Okay, we got 4 hours left on the drive here. I did pick kind of like the longest one, I think, and it wasn't even the longest one. It was just extremely long. Is that the moon already? It's probably just the... oh, that's my... I see like something flashing in the left-hand mirror there, and I thought it was the sun flashing, but it's actually the beacon on the top of the truck. Making significantly good time here. This truck that I bought was kind of like, I mean, I don't know, it's weird because I don't know how the trucks in the dealership actually work, because I had like the second best truck, the truck that's in the number 2 slot in Peterbilt trucks, but I had upgraded it to have everything at like the top level, so I went and just bought the truck that's 10 out of 10, which is the highest unlock, and it feels like it's the same truck. So I feel like it might be cheaper to just buy the top truck than to upgrade all the individual parts, but I don't know, money's not really an issue. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. Should probably just get over into that lane because we're going to be going, and that guy behind us is moving rather quickly, so I feel like if I tried to slow down, it probably would have messed something up. Las Vegas. I feel like we're going the... Or maybe we do have to go north, actually. Oh, is there a... There's a light, but we'll go. I feel like I should probably move my guide, like the viewing, down into the seat a little bit more. As you can tell, we're driving by FedEx right there. I have a new actual one put in. I had a names one previous, but I had noticed just that some of the stuff wasn't renamed. I don't even know what that one is. But, you know, I have a gas one installed for gas stations, real gas stations. I think there was a BP station. And then I have one that's installed for real companies. And I assume it doesn't change stuff around here, like in these small towns or anything. Route 66. No one coming that way. Nobody coming that way. Perfect. I have steering. If you've noticed, I have, like, when I move my wheel, it changes, but sometimes you still need to just, like, look in the other direction. How nice. Slowed down. I feel sometimes that can be a mess, like when another vehicle slows down because you enter in kind of like its proximity, especially if it happens when you're behind them, and then you back up to try to go around them and they decide, oh no, I'm gonna go now, which is very fun. Phoenix is 2 miles away. So yeah, just going back to the stuff. So iRacing is definitely a thing that I want to do. The Crew 2 I want to make more stuff on. I haven't been playing that as much because the game is kind of rather shallow once you do all the story stuff. I mean, I still put, like, honestly probably 30 hours into it in the first couple days it came out, which I think is worth the money that I paid for it, especially because I got the season pass as well. So when more content comes out, more missions, I assume there's going to be more kind of like mission stuff, and then new car stuff. You know, I just get it all. It's all included. I don't have to worry about, I don't know, I turn my turn signal on for it. I don't have to worry about purchasing anything or doing anything with that. So you can see stuff in that. And I bought the fastest car in the game, which is the Koenigsegg Agera, and it's a really sweet car. Just like destroys the rest of the cars in the game, no question. And I've been running kind of like a mission over and over again, kind of just grinding out the icon levels, but at the same time it doesn't feel rewarding. And apparently they're introducing kind of like multiplayer elements at some point. I would have assumed it would just been in the game because it was in the original one. Oh, we're at 75, so I can actually, like, move once we get up to speed after going up here. But yeah, they're going to introduce multiplayer at some point. I never really tried out the multiplayer much in the first game because I played it like 2 years after it came out, and also the original one wasn't nearly as popular as this one is, or at least it seems that this one's more popular, mainly because of the time it came out when no other games are coming out, so people are far more interested in it. And I'm hoping we get some more Project Cars 2 DLC as well. The Spirit of Le Mans pack was pretty cool. I'm still meaning to kind of like mess around with the classic cars on the classic track for Le Mans. I just keep forgetting it exists because I was very excited about the LMP1s, the 2016s being introduced. That I totally forgot about that, and then, you know, it was like that came out the same week as Le Mans was on, and then, you know, I was like, I gotta watch Le Mans. And then once you watch a 24-hour race, I watched 18 hours of it in total. The beginning in like 18 hours, and I slept and then got up for the last couple as well. It was a good race, enjoyed it, but I didn't get a chance, as I said, to mess around with the classic stuff, so I'll have to do that in the future. Is this truck just capped to 65? Is the speed limiter broken where I can't go above 65? Because, I mean, normally it lets me go 10 over. So, not quite sure. But we do have to stay behind this Prius here. Because we're going to be... maybe I can get it. I don't want to chance it. Just cruise behind him. Because we got to get off up here. I don't know if we're getting off the highway or if we're getting into the... I think we're going into the city now of where we need to be. I can't really see that well, but it doesn't look like any cars coming. Yeah. We're in the middle of the desert. I wouldn't expect there to be any cars. Okay, so we're about an hour out here. About a 40-minute trip. They're longer than that. It's probably going to be like a 50-minute trip, which is actually a fairly long time. I didn't realize how long 13 hours actually equated to in real life time. Also would have went quicker if I could actually speed, but it appears my game is busted. Probably a mod. I assume a mod is definitely doing that. Who knows which one? I'll have to look. Mess around with it a little bit more. Because I like to speed in game. Especially on like roads like this. Now if you're in a congested area, it's kind of not a smart idea to do, but in the desert, no, it doesn't really matter. $68, $69. Somehow we're still increasing. Oh, because we're going downhill. Speeding, passing a cop. It's kind of funny. I think I also kind of ran it off the road a little bit. Well, not made it stop a little bit because I turned back in too soon, but I saw that other car coming up the road. So, you know, wanted to get back over. Oh, it's right up the road. I see the destination. Good old FedEx ground truck out in the middle of nowhere. So I assume I've been here because I think I have the achievement for visiting every place in Arizona. I've never actually visited the racetrack, which I assume is ISM, Phoenix Raceway previously. There's an airport in Phoenix. I don't remember. Something I've never been to though. I don't have that achievement. I need to get that one. I think there's like one or two more cities I have to visit in New Mexico too that I just have never done. Okay, where is this turn? Right up here. Okay. It's a dead end, so I assume no one's coming that way, and here we are. at the destination. Well, in 2 minutes. Oh, no, there's a couple of different ones that are like exactly like this. So, yeah, that is delivering this load from... Oh, I took a screenshot by accident. I meant to not hit that button. What is it? Which button changes? F6? Yeah, from the place to Camp Verde in Arizona. I forgot how to read for a second, I guess. So yeah, I'm not gonna finish the run just because I want to take like a screenshot or two just to get something to use for a thumbnail. But yeah, we're gonna end it here. I'll probably do kind of like an American Truck Sim video like once a week, maybe twice, depending. I do enjoy them. I think they're kind of just like kind of chill, longer form, like babbly type content, and doing it too much will leave you with nothing much to talk about. But every once in a while is cool. I'm going to finish the Big Sur stuff though. And if you have American Truck Sim, definitely help. I think we're at like 350 or 400,000 at the current moment, the last I checked. You know, it doesn't have an expiration date. They are going to reopen the highway, I assume, whenever we hit it. So that could be tomorrow. That could be next week. That could be whenever they actually get to it. So having that nice section of road open again so we don't have to take like super mad detours will be really fun. I'm probably going to do some iRacing stuff, a couple of those races in the coming days and weeks as well, and probably looking at some of the Project Cars 2, like classic Le Mans stuff, doing a couple races maybe with those or something. Maybe trying to find a Project Cars 2 online race or two, which is always extremely difficult to do, just because it's a mess. Like, people have like 300-hour qualifying times, and it's like, that doesn't... Did you think that was a smart idea? But that's a topic for another day, and until next time, I'll see you then.